This morning, Canada received its first shipment of vaccines purchased through the global vaccine initiative known as COVAX. 317,000 AstraZeneca doses arrived from South Korea. They're being distributed across the country as we speak. To date, 10.5 million doses in total have been sent to provinces and territories. Over 2 million in the last week alone. 7.1 million doses have been administered, though. Major General Dany Fortin oversees Canada's vaccine distribution. He joins us now. Hi, Major General Fortin. Pleasure to welcome you back to the program. Thank you for making the time.
Hi, thank you very much.
I want to start on the issue that I know you touched on during your press conference today around the discrepancy, it appears at least, between what is sent from the federal government and what is administered by the provinces. About 70%, let's say at this point, and that's an approximate number, have been administered. You said that provinces and territories do their very best to administer as rapidly and as effectively as possible vaccines to Canadians throughout the country. Can you explain to me from your perspective, like, are provinces sitting on those? Are they in so-called freezers? What is the delay? What's the discrepancy?
Well, I tried to explain in my statement during the press conference that there's a number of steps, and it takes a significant amount of time to execute the entire chain or supply chain from picking up the vaccine or receiving vaccine in Canada and distributing it all the way down to some of the remote areas in the country. Provinces and territories assure us that they have the capacity to vaccinate at scale. Now, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a force that is mobile, that can get to all places. So there are some issues that they're working through, and there's a number of ways that we can continue to help federally. In terms of numbers, I think we need to be careful with numbers. We need to look at a longer time period than just a moment in time. For instance, on Mondays, we start distributing Pfizer products pretty regularly, every week, Monday to Wednesday. And so on Monday, if you receive 1 million and the vast majority gets distributed that first day, that's a significant increase on that day. So you need to look at a broader spectrum and look at how they're doing, and provinces, territories are doing over a longer period as well.
So, for example, that Pfizer, let's say, arrives in Canada on Monday. When does it get to the provinces?
Starting Monday.
So it starts going out right away.
Correct. It actually arrives in country in separate shipments that are sent all the way to points of use across the country. Different number, different size. Like this week, I think it was over 160 different sites. In addition, of course, there are other vaccines that get distributed through our federally contracted logistics service provider to hubs, and then they further distribute within their jurisdiction. Or there's a complement of federally distributed to various sites, as well as provinces distributing within their province.
And so how long does that take, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, if they come in Monday, are they at where they're supposed to be at by Tuesday, let's say?
Well, again, it depends on the type. But I think in the case of Pfizer, it's a pretty straightforward case of pushing all the way to points of use. And then there's further distribution in some cases by the province, but that's pretty locally in the main. In terms of other vaccines that gets redistributed, and it can take days, and it can be a deliberate effort to maintain in freezers or fridges doses that are to be administered in some of the remote communities of a province, just because they line up not only the transportation, but line up the workforce to go and provide the immunization team.
So based on what you know about the distribution, when you see, for example, and I take your point that it's just a moment in time, but when you see that 30% on average of a province's supply has not been administered, do you reject the idea that they're sitting on it, or is it possible?
I think it's a point for us to start a conversation with the province. And we've had conversations about the challenges that they may experience. And again, there's a little bit of, well, we just received this, we're distributing that down to our different service providers, to our different spokes in that system. And then they also want to be careful not to create a situation where they have to cancel immunization or stop immunizing until they receive more vaccines. I think that would affect the credibility and the confidence, public confidence. So they want to make sure they have a steady stream of vaccines and they have a regular flow of individuals across the different communities that they go to. And they keep changing that from week to week.
On the specific vaccines, AstraZeneca especially, we've spoken to Minister Anand about the reception of 1.5 million of them. Today you said only about 6,000 of them have been distributed. When do you anticipate the rest of them will be?
So about 6,000 were administered to Canadians as of April 3rd. And so provinces and territories report on a weekly basis on their immunization. Age groups and various locations, different types of vaccines. So we expect in the next few days to receive additional data.
And when do those doses expire?
If I recall, from the 1.5 million, 2/3 of them were to expire in 2 months, end of May, and another 500,000 end of June, I believe.
Okay, and when it comes to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I know there has been some discussion about, I spoke to a premier last night because it was part of the discussion between the premiers and the prime minister, who told me that the federal government signaled that they might know more by the end of the month about the delivery schedule. Do you anticipate there will be Johnson & Johnson doses in this country by the end of April?
Well, that's our main assumption. We're in conversation. Certainly, our PSPC Procurement Canada colleagues are in close coordination with Johnson & Johnson. We are expecting doses to arrive end of this month into the next month. And the conditions and the specifics remain to be confirmed. So there's a number of things that we want to make sure that we have wired tight before we share that information. I don't have a whole lot more to share, in fact. So we're expecting to get confirmation from from Johnson & Johnson on the modalities of that distribution.
And though you don't know the numbers yet, is there a plan in the works for how it will be distributed? Will it be, for example, per capita like Pfizer is, or is there the possibility that because of some of the growth of the variants in specific spots in this country, that vaccine in particular could be used in a certain way?
Yeah, our assumption right now is that it would be distributed per capita. I have to confirm with the different groups here to ensure. I guess the different tables offer an opportunity for provinces and territories to discuss. I don't see a reason why it would not be per capita distribution as we have done with other vaccines, certainly for Q2. So that's what we can anticipate. There's a lot of things in play. So with more AstraZeneca coming, Johnson & Johnson, the Pfizer and Moderna schedules are pretty much well underway. Certainly with Pfizer, even more predictability. So there's more vaccines coming, and that gives us good hopes for provinces and territories moving forward.
Okay, I'll leave it there, Major General Fortin. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.